All right, we've now been joined by Kevin Harvick, who finished fourth in tonight's Daytona 500. Kevin, thank you for joining us. We will now take questions for Kevin. If you have one, a friendly reminder, raise your hand within the Zoom platform, and we'll get in as many questions as we can. To kick us off, Kevin, I'm going to read a question from Jeff Gluck. His question is just around if you feel like the earlier crash today was any reason why drivers ran single file for so long.
Hard to tell. I mean, anytime you have less cars on the racetrack, it becomes a little harder to make moves. So when you have you have that many cars torn up, it definitely changes the complexion of the race.
Okay, we're going to go to our next set of questions from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Kevin, can you just kind of take me through the last lap or so? It just seemed like with where you were running, knowing there was another Penske car back there, that the options were limited. And I know listening to the radio that I think the talk was that with the bottom not as good, it just didn't seem like there were too many options for you at that point. Can you kind of talk me through that last lap, please?
Yeah, Brad laid way back and just kind of went for it himself and then wound up, wrecking all three of their cars actually. So, I think as you look at it, our choice was to, just stay as close as we could to the 22 and hope that you wind up in a good spot. And at that point, he just, he drug in a whole bunch of cars that weren't going to be in the race, if it hadn't played out like that. So, it's just, you hope when it scatters like that you wind up with the right push or in the right line. And we just wound up in the spot that finished fourth.
Is that a move that you make if you're did the two do anything wrong in terms of making that move at the last lap of the Daytona 500, or that's just kind of way this racing is? You've got to make something big like that.
Yeah, I think you just have to, everybody has to make their own decisions, and that was his decision, and I don't think he was going to win from there, but I think that he definitely had the best pusher behind him with the broken spoiler there that could push the best with the 34. So I think he thought he was in a good position, and that was probably his best chance to win. So no, you can't blame him for doing that. I mean, he's just doing what he thinks he needs to do, but just it wasn't a great scenario for us because we were kind of in the middle of the first place car and the car that was setting up the move. So it just wasn't a great spot.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob. Bob, we're having trouble hearing you.
I don't think you guys can hear him.
No. Bob, you want to try?
Sorry.
There you go.
All right. Did you think McDowell was going to make any moves, or did you think he was going to need Brad to?
No, he was the best pusher at that point with the scenario he was in. They kept telling me that he was on the radio. They kept telling me he was the best pusher. So I knew that the best pusher was behind the two, and I was in a spot where you just kind of in no man's land there of what to do.
And as far as what your plan, I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but were you like, okay, I'm gonna go down, be on the inside, and just kind of see what happens? I mean, were you pretty much at the mercy of what everybody else was doing?
I kind of got put on the inside with the way that it all shuffled out there. So, I didn't want to be on the inside. I wound up in the middle, and then as it all shuffled around, I wound up on the bottom. So, I didn't want to be on the bottom.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Doug with PRN. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, thanks, Amanda. Kevin, Doug Turnbull here. In the past, when races end up single file, there comes that debate about, is there something different about the end?
Hey, Doug, just a quick heads up. We can't hear you. Can you try again? You were connected at first. Are you good now? You want to try again?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
I apologize. I had a malfunction there. Is there any reason, Kevin, why the inside line is not usually the preferred one in times like these? Is it just because people drift to the outside, or is there a dynamic about the bottom versus the top? And has anything changed over the last couple of years?
I think we discussed that, a couple questions ago, just with the amount of cars that got tore up in the beginning. You wind up with so many less cars to create the energy that you need to get the bottom going.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys.